when we opened the yeshiva in Miami, which was in the year Tovshin Lamed Dalet, certain questions came up how the yeshiva soll sich führen. Because we didn't have really heroes exactly how sich führen. It's the first yeshiva that the Rebbe opened in America, because the first one that he opened was in Australia, and there he sent Shluchim, and then in America the first one was Miami, and we didn't know exactly. We heard certain things he said like about Australia, so we didn't know if it applies to us also. So certain things I wanted to ask. So in the first year I used to ask, but I didn't want to ask the Rebbe directly because I didn't feel it's right to bother the Rebbe that with every little thing, figure it out, work on it. Why would I ask the Rebbe? But I would ask Rabbi Chadakov. I also knew that if you call Rabbi Chadakov and you ask him some question of his Zachfirin, he would answer you what he thinks. But if you write it to him biksav, he always would give the zettel into the Rebbe, even though it was written to him, and the Rebbe would answer. So that's what I used to do. I did want to get an answer for the Rebbe, but I didn't feel it was right to write to the Rebbe. If Rabbi Chadakov wants to give it to the Rebbe, that's his business, and that's what I did. So one of the questions that I asked was, we had the Shluchim that the Rebbe sent, and there was one more bocher that was a Miami bocher that came to learn in yeshiva. But then there was a bocher from New York, from the yeshiva in New York, that wanted to come to learn by us. So I didn't know if we should take him or not. I didn't know what we're supposed to do. So I asked the Rebbe, and the Rebbe answered, settled this lashon: Ein inyonom klal lehilochem b'temchet mimim v'dal. It's not their inyan at all, and he underlined the word klal, to fight with temchet mimim. V'dal, which means v'dai l'meiv. In other words, you're not there, you didn't open the yeshiva to be competition with temchet mimim in New York, with temchet mimim. So therefore, basically not to take. But next time I went into Yechidus, was for Shvuas time, this was all in Lamed Daled. I went to Yechidus after Shvuas, and I wrote to the Rebbe, and it settled that the Rebbe answered not to be competition with Temchet Mimim, but what happens if the Hanhol of Temchet Mimim wants? Because in that case that I was talking about, the Hanhola asked that we take that bocher. So the Rebbe answered that if the Anhola is mas, the Anhola wants, and it's good for you, in other words, for the yeshiva it's good, but the Anhola from Techimim asks, then you could take. Then there was another shaila that I asked: can we, in middle of Seder, allow Bochrim to go and do in the yonim of Hafatzas HaMayonis, Mivtzoyim, in the middle of Seder? And they said from time to time, Ba'efin Shal Yechidim. Didn't mean the whole yeshiva to close, but individuals should go. So the Rebbe circled around the words Yechidim and the word Mizman Lizman, only individuals as individuals from time to time, and then he wrote these words: Harei Mefursim, it's known. And he underlined the word Mefursim with 2 lines. Shebeteim chet mimim dekan eisin kenal. That chet mimim here means in New York they do that. Elo, he wrote in parentheses, Elo, shetzorech li is bekabolos reshus ma'anhola, but it has to be with receiving reshus from the anhola. V'lei al das atzmei de kol echad ve'echad. And not on das of each one will decide when he'll do it. V'kal. He didn't write Vidal. In the other letter he wrote Vidal, Vidai Lamevin, that you understand that. And here wrote Vikal, Vikal Lahovin. It's very easy to understand that you need to reshus, and it can be on the das of each bocher. But this is what he answered, that it's mafursim that in Timkmim, here they do that, and therefore you're able to do it. And I know when another yeshiva opened up in America, and they asked the Rebbe, Wiesel Zachfirin, so the Rebbe answered to them, that's what I was told by the Anhola there, that they should find out Vimi Firtzach in Miami, and they should copy the way it is done in Miami. And one of the things he said to them was that the kavanah is that you should have also bochrim outside of Lubavitch to come in. And at that time, we had one bocher that was from Mirer Yeshiva that learned by us. So the Rebbe said, Al Derech like Miami, that has one bocher, and the way the Hanhola from that yeshiva told me, the Rebbe used the Lashon bocher from Teir Vadas. Now, I don't know if they understood or something that he said, as in Miami learned a bocher from Teir Vadas. So that's one of the kavanas, to have bocher from other yeshivas. But he told them to copy us, because to us already the Rebbe had answered certain answers, so we were able to tell them the same answers.